Hi, I'm Mark Lawson, president of Morningstar Music Publishers, and we are joined this afternoon by Karen Marrolli to talk about her new piece called Song of Unity. Welcome, Karen.
Hello, thank you for having me.
You write so many of your own texts and you come up with such beautiful pieces that you've contributed to our catalog. Talk about Song of Unity. Where did that come from, and where did you get inspired for this text?
Well, it was actually a result of a visit from our presiding bishop at Central United Methodist Church. He was a guest preacher, and we happened to be doing a song that I wrote that day as a choir. So he saw that I had that skill set and wanted a piece for our annual conference. And as many of you know, the Methodist Church itself is going through some shifts and some seismic events, I guess, right now. So he really wanted a piece addressing the idea of unity. So where I went with the text from my sort of perspective is that we should all stand beside each other and support each other and be unified. And inherent in that means that everyone has a place. So we can't just be unified with the people that are exactly like us, but that everyone has someone to contribute to that spirit of home.
How did you get started writing your own texts?
Interestingly enough, I got started writing them through songwriting, which is a different kind of medium than writing church anthems and choral music, I guess. But when you first start writing, you're learning to write in college or before that, you're setting other people's texts because obviously, and they probably are, they're superior to anything you could write yourself, and also gives you a good model for how to figure out what a text should be and all of that. But when I started living in Santa Fe, I did something that I had not done since I was about 12 or 14, and that was writing songs. And through that, I kind of got the confidence to start writing my own text and trying to write my own text. And when I would sing these songs, some of the comments would be, "We think your lyrics are really strong." So I thought, well, maybe I'll try to do this. But that's from that sort of odd place was where the idea came from to write my own text for anthems, and it has seemed to work.
How does this come about? Do you start looking for something and then go, oh, wow, I think I could do that myself?
It could go any number of ways. Sometimes it is just the inspiration just hits, or because I have had a need. For example, I was in my Methodist church in Alabama, did a longest night service, and I ended up writing two pieces, Long Expected Dawn and O Emmanuel, that I felt fit that kind of a specific service, because there isn't necessarily Advent music that fits that ethos. There is, but it's less out there than some other things, obviously, that we use from Sunday to Sunday. Also at that church, the best example I could think of is just trying to fit sermons that are not softball sermons, as we call them, but where the pastor has maybe a little bit of a different perspective. Great Creator is a great example of that, because it was the Isaiah text that week, and the wolf shall lie down with the lamb, all of these wonderful things will happen. And I already knew that the title of the sermon was going to be Great When. So that was kind of that sort of impatience, to wait to see this being fulfilled. And there wasn't really a piece that fit that exact thing. So I was able to craft the text around that idea of not only that we believe this will happen, but our longing for that expectancy. So your textual needs, and then just also the normal, what your choir can do. You're asking them to do a new anthem every single week, and you're teaching a lot of things quickly. So a lot of people have commented they feel like the music, it has substance, but it's very approachable, and that comes from me sort of doing the work in the trenches with the actual church choir situation.
So many of your pieces have been recorded by Matthew Culleton and the Minnesota choral artists, singers, that we are pulling together a recording of many of your works, and that will be coming out before too long. Are there favorite pieces that you would point people toward if they're not familiar with your work?
I think, on the church side, I was just looking at, and I really like a Mighty Wind. That's probably one of my favorite ones, and also sort of typical of the kind of musical gestures I think that have come forth. I like Come Before the Table because it's very atypical.
Mhm.
So that's the different end of the spectrum. But both of those pieces um, have a common thread of our idea. What we should be doing is being light in the world and being welcoming and being loving. And then on the other side of the spectrum, the more the secular realm, but could certainly be used in the church realm, is Undivided, which is also is a similar thrust. But any one of those.
I might mention that both of those pieces that you mentioned came out during the COVID time. So hopefully people will come back and we can rediscover all those pieces that were published that we were not able to sing. Thank you very much for joining us, and good luck in all that you're doing.
Thank you very much. It's great to be here.